The following episode contains discussions of abusive relationships and inappropriate romantic age gaps. Listen at your own discretion. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of October, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Today, we are once again talking about Taylor Swift. Specifically, we are talking about her song, Dear John. Dear John is from the album Speak Now from 2010. It's the 5th track. It tells a story of a couple, or an ex-couple rather, and they're not named in the song, but it's heavily implied that the song is about Taylor Swift and one of her exes. And we'll get into all of that after we listen to it, but I want to just give that idea, I want to plant that idea in your head right now before we listen to it. I always forget that it's like almost 7 minutes long, this song, but we know I love a long song, so I'm not complaining. Anyway, I don't think I need to give it much of an intro. I think we should just get into it, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So let's do that. Let's listen to it now and then come back and talk about it in a few minutes. There it is, Dear John by Taylor Swift. Ooh, that song gets to me. I think it's because of the length that it always hits me at the last chorus. You know, I'm listening to it, I'm singing along to it, I'm enjoying it, for lack of a better word. But when the last chorus hits is when it really gets to me, you know. So I mentioned this at the start. This song, as I'm sure you just heard, narrates this breakup between a girl who was 19 and an older man. It doesn't specify how much older, but it keeps referencing the idea that she was too young. It never mentions who the people are, and you might think that the title is a clue, Dear John. So it's obviously someone named John. And it is, but also it's a reference to something else. There's such a thing as a Dear John letter. It was a letter that a woman would write to a man to tell him that their relationship was over, usually because she found someone else. It was like a very common term used with war veterans coming back from the service and finding that their wife had left them, or they would be away and they would get a letter received at the front line that said Dear John. And the importance of that is that their wives or their girlfriends would be normally referring to them with pet names like Johnny or My Dearest Johnny or something like that, you know. And so if it just wrote plainly Dear John, they know it's serious. And that's the whole idea of that name. There's in fact a movie called Dear John, which I've not seen, but I believe it's about that same topic. So the lyric is referring to that because the song is itself a Dear John letter. The song is saying, I have left you and this is why. And it kind of references itself that way as well. It's like, oh, I wrote you this song to let you know why. But also, Taylor Swift dated John Mayer. Not for very long, but they did date when she was 19 and he was 36. John Mayer is another musician. You may have heard of him. You've probably heard Your Body is a Wonderland, although I will never hear it without thinking of the Gabriel Gundaker vine, Your body is an organ case. But anyway, it is very much implied that this song is in fact about Taylor Swift and John Mayer's relationship and breakup, because the ages line up and the name lines up. And a lot of people have pointed out, I don't listen to John Mayer, so I can't confirm this, but people have pointed out musical similarities, like this song is referencing John Mayer's style, you know what I mean? Which is interesting. John Mayer himself said that it was way too mean of her to do this, to write this song. He said it humiliated him, and he said it was cheap songwriting, which is very classy of him to say. But throughout all of this, Taylor Swift has never confirmed that it was about him. It's just pretty obvious it is, but she's never actually said that. So the fact that John Mayer himself assumed it was tells you a lot, huh? Anyway, the song has always given me a similar vibe to Motion Sickness, where you kind of realize these things have happened to celebrities, and it makes you kind of reflect, especially because I know we haven't even gotten to talking about the song yet, but Taylor Swift in the early years had this reputation of being a heartbreaker, and like particularly with Adele and Taylor Swift, for some reason there was just always this joke going around. It's like, never date Taylor Swift or never date Adele, because they're just going to break up with you and write a song about it. And I mean, it's rooted in misogyny, obviously, it's rooted in slut shaming, it's all of those things, but it makes it so much more shameful when you think of songs like this, where she sings about how she was like abused and manipulated when she was 19 by a man almost twice her age. And people are like, oh, don't date Taylor Swift, she'll just write a song about you. Like, it's just disgusting, really. Anyway, let's talk about the actual song itself. Long were the nights when my days once revolved around you, counting my footsteps, praying the floor won't fall through again. And my mother accused me of losing my mind, but I swore I was fine. You paint me a blue sky, then go back and turn it to rain. And I lived in your chess game, but you changed the rules every day. Wondering which version of you I might get on the phone tonight. Well, I stopped picking up, and this song is to let you know why. So, long were the nights when my days once revolved around you makes me think like the nights were long because I was losing sleep is what it makes me think. My days revolved around you, and that distressed me such that I couldn't sleep. Counting my footsteps, praying the floor won't fall through again, makes me think of like walking on eggshells, being careful around someone. My mother accused me of losing my mind, but I swear I was fine. So her mother tries to pull her back, tries to say this is inappropriate, this is wrong, and she's either in denial or she's unwilling to look for help. There's a common thing with relationships like this where they don't look for help, not because they think it's fine, but because they don't think anything will change, right? You paint me a blue sky, then go back and turn it to rain is like, you show me lovely things and then you are suddenly angry, things change, you make my day shit. And I lived in your chess game, but you change the rules every day. Again, about manipulation, although some people specifically, other people have accused John Mayer of various different things, but other people have specifically said that he belittled them for not being smart. Like he was always very condescending, I think is the word I'm looking for. Like he was always looking down on people and showing how smart he was, So bringing up the chess game makes me think of that. And then wondering which version of you I might get on the phone tonight. Someone like this being so changeable, they don't know if they're gonna get a phone call from their nice, lovable boyfriend or their angry, aggressive boyfriend, Well, I stopped picking up, and this song is to let you know why. So this is what I was saying about how this song kind of presents itself like a Dear John letter, but in song form, This song is to let you know why. And then we get the chorus. Dear John, I see it all now that you're gone. Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress cried the whole way home. I should have known. It's all laid out pretty plainly there, Now that this relationship is over, I see what was wrong with it. How did you not see it? Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? How did you not understand this? And then the girl in the dress cried the whole way home. I assume that's mostly just to rhyme, like in the dress, but it does give you a very specific image of a young girl just like playing around in a dress, and that's cried the whole way home. And so it really emphasizes the youth here, the age difference, The girl in the dress. She's not like a woman in a dress, because that's a different image. Woman in the dress immediately conjures like flirtatious imagery. I think just because I'm thinking of The Matrix, were you listening to me, Neo, or were you staring at the woman in the red dress? Girl in the dress is like, no, this is a child, And then I should have known, she's blaming herself. I should have known better. Even though she's saying you should have known better, she's saying I should have known. She's blaming herself for it. And then we get into the second verse. Well, maybe it's me and my blind optimism to blame, or maybe it's you and your sick need to give love and take it away, and you'll add my name to your long list of traitors who don't understand. And I look back and regret how I ignored when they said, run as fast as you can. Ooh, god damn. Maybe it's me and my blind optimism. Like, it's so common for people to want to see the best in someone and not believe that they're abusive in any way. And so it's the blind optimism. It's the love is blind thing, right? Or maybe it's you and your sick need to give love and take it away. So, someone taking pleasure in this idea. Because so much of abuse is about control. It's about power dynamics, And you'll add my name to your long list of traitors who don't understand. So that's also very common, is that someone just immediately as much as they heaped love on them when they were dating them, when they accuse them of anything, they immediately switch on them, And the fact that John Mayer had only negative things to say about this song tells you a lot about that lyric's truthfulness. And I look back and regret how I ignored when they said run as fast as you can. So that's what I was saying before about, people trying to dissuade her from this relationship and her ignoring it because of denial, And then we get the chorus again, but slightly different. Dear John, I see it all now that you're gone. Don't you know I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress cried the whole way home. Dear John, I see it all now. It was wrong. Don't you think 19's too young to be played by your dark, twisted games when I loved you so? I should have known. So the first part stays the same, and we still end with I should have known, but we get that little middle bit there. I see it all now. It was wrong. This shouldn't have happened. Don't you think 19's too young? That's when it specifies in the song. I was 19, right? To be played by your dark, twisted games when I loved you so. Just saying that, like, I was too young to be manipulated, which is a kind of an interesting thing, but I suppose she's specifically saying, like, you specifically took advantage of my childish naivete, right? When I loved you so, right? Like, I loved you. Why did you do this to me? I should have known. Then we get the bridge. You're an expert at sorry and keeping lines blurry, never impressed by me acing your tests. All the girls that you've run dry have tired, lifeless eyes because you burned them out. But I took your matches before fire could catch me, so don't look now. I'm shining like fireworks over your sad, empty town. Whoa. Ouch. It's so brutal. You're an expert at sorry and keeping lines blurry. Abusers will often kind of backpedal and apologize and then, to try and get you back into their good graces, try to get themselves into your good graces rather, and then immediately go back in it and hurt you again, right? And then never impressed by me acing your tests. Again, that thing about lording over his intelligence over people, right? And then all the girls that you've run dry have tired, lifeless eyes because you burned them out is just so brutal. Girls that you've run dry, like he tapped them like a keg and sucked their life out, like he's a fucking vampire, And like I said, it's the pattern because other people have accused John Mayer of similar things. So then it continues the burned out metaphor. I took your matches before fire could catch me. So she's saying, I took the power away from you. I'm taking control of this again. So don't look now. I'm shining like fireworks over your sad, empty town. So it's the I'm thriving. I lived, bitch. Look at me now. I'm successful. Not to say that John Mayer isn't a successful artist or that he isn't famous, but like Taylor Swift is fucking Taylor Swift. Everyone knows who she is, whether they like her or not. She is the most successful pop artist right now, probably the most successful musician currently. And so it's her saying like, look upon my works ye mighty in despair. Then we get a final chorus. It's the same length as the second chorus, but it's just repeating itself. It's Dear John, I see it all now that you're gone. Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress cried the whole way home. I see it all now that you're gone. Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress wrote you a song. You should have known. So it switches up here because now it's the girl in the dress wrote you a song. And then you should have known. Not I should have known. She switched from blaming herself to you need to take accountability for your actions. You should have known. And then the outro is you should have known. Don't you think I was too young? You should have known. I love that switch up because I mean, she's blaming herself the whole song, and then she finally is like, no, it's your fault. You should have known better. You were fucking 36, John. This song is so fucking good. I love the sound as well. I didn't say much about it, but it really feels big because she's like, Dear John. It all swells up. I really love how it sounds. The dynamics between the quiet and loud parts, it's really good. I don't think I have much else to say. It speaks for itself when you read out all the lyrics like that and you know the backstory. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
I wish Genius didn't fucking do that. Hold on. It was very common in the war for, the war, I say, as if there was only one. Other people have specifically said that he, like, belittled them for not being smart. Like, he was always very, what's the word? Not pretentious. Sapiosexual. No, cut that out. Dark Twisted just makes you think of Dark Twisted and Cruel. That's a whole other thing. I'm dark, twisted, and cruel. Sorry, I just looked over at Genius, and one of the tags is diss track, which is correct, but feels weird. I'm taking control of this again. Take control. Look upon my works, John Mayer, in despair. I am Taylor Mandius. Too vast and trunkless. Fuck. I couldn't even come up with a joke quick enough. Two vast and trunkless cardigans of iron. I don't know. Anyway. You were fucking 36, John. Uh-oh, John. Uh-oh, John.